Hi, and welcome to Alaya Books Insights. Today, I'm thrilled to have Nora Boghossian with us, and she has written an amazing book called The Next, and it's the next you and the next relationship. I'm going to have Nora introduce the book to you.
Very excited and thrilled about this book. It's been a dream come true,
All right.
and it's especially feels uh well, it feels special because I know that it'll impact a lot of women around the world. Yeah.
Yes. So tell me, where did the idea come from?
So, I was holding a support group for women and also offering them private sessions. And over the course of a few years, I started seeing the themes coming up, similar themes coming up. And then I started writing articles, and I have a blog site, so I would share it on the blog. I also have a, Instagram page that I run for the pieces that I write. And so when I saw the themes coming up that were similar, I felt like, they're going to get more of an impact, something to go to refer to if I were to write a book, and frankly, I've always wanted to write a book. It's been a dream of mine to write a book, and I just didn't know what that topic was going to be, the first book, what it was going to be about.
Yes.
So when this idea came up, I was like, okay, I guess this is my first book. This is what I'm writing about.
Because I have
So yeah,
seen the material for your other books, which I'm extremely
yes,
excited about. But today, because this book will be launching September 2024,
yes,
so this is what we will discuss mainly today. The next.
yes.
Yes. Fantastic. Well,
Oh,
congratulations.
thank you.
Very
Thank you.
exciting. And so
Yes,
tell us a bit about the book and how it
mm,
came into its current shape.
right.
Mm,
So the book is about, it's called the next you, the next relationship. And instead of the one, I essentially wanted to, with the support group that I've been doing too, and all the work that I've done, my mission is for women and men too, whoever's in a relationship really, to see relationships in a different light, to see it as, instead of searching for the one and putting all that pressure on each other of finding a partner, a life partner, a spouse, and the sort, to focus more on the person who's right there in front of you, and just focus on the interaction, the communication that you have right there and then with this person, and allow for the relationship to kind of evolve organically instead of having this internal dialogue of, is this the spouse material? Where is this going? And we all do that, myself included. And so I wanted to introduce a new way of looking at it. And that's why I called it the next you, the next relationship, because what happens also is, um, when you get into a relationship with someone, that interaction is really specific to um, the personalities that are coming through with that person, you know, um, and because we mirror each other. And so parts of us are reflected back to us and
mm,
to each other. And so it's really specific when you're getting into a relationship with someone, to notice what is it that you're learning about yourself,
mm,
to notice what themes may be coming up, what issues may be coming up. And it's not that it's a bad thing, it's a learning experience. You're going to
mm.
come out having learned lessons, as we say, and you're eventually going to grow out of that relationship. In some instances, that's what happens, and that's okay. I'm wanting to people to feel that when the end of the relationship comes, I don't want people to feel like, oh my God, my world has ended. It's
Mhm.
over. I have no life.
Yeah.
No, instead, take what you did, take from that relationship and move forward with the sense of, I've learned something from this and I'm going to either do better next time or do things differently next time, whatever it may be.
Yes. There is like a
Yeah,
stigma, isn't there, that
yeah,
marriage failed and I'm a failure. Um,
exactly, exactly.
yeah.
So that's why, the
Mm,
way to approach it, it makes a whole different, having a different perspective. It makes it a
yes.
difference for you to be
Oh,
able to
sounds
also navigate through and out of it,
okay.
because it is
That's
an emotional
very,
time. It's easier said than done. I totally realize that. I've been in a marriage, I've been divorced, I've been in breakups. I get it, and that's actually the other reason why I gravitated towards writing about this. I provided a guidance and support for anyone going through the process of the end of a relationship, and you're going to learn how to release what no longer serves you. You're going to reconnect with yourself, who you were before this relationship, and moving forward, just kind of reflecting on yourself, and who you are, who you've been, and who you will become, looking forward. And, just begin your brighter future, And
yes.
so, yeah,
Yeah. It's so important. I think it's, yeah, you
yeah.
are going to help lots of people. It's very universal, isn't it?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Do you also
And
touch on the topic of actually just enjoying single life, or that's not really something?
it may come up in not in so many ways, but I do encourage everyone to embrace their themselves, and self-care, loving themselves as they are, and as they go through the process of an end of a relationship. And um, the way I talk about it is that when you focus on yourself and your life, your dreams, your vision, what you would like to accomplish, we have this one precious life. How are you going to live that out? When we kind of pull it back to ourselves and focus on ourselves, and then when you set out to do uh take steps towards your dreams, you'll see that what happens is you will be magnetic in a different way, and you will be invoking a different type of person who's going to be more aligned with you.
Mm,
It's going to be more of a vibrational match with you because of how you're putting yourself out there, how you're showing up in life.
mm,
You may have similar interests, or maybe you don't, but you value each other's interests,
mm.
you know? So yeah, in that respect, yes, I did touch on that because sometimes what happens is um, women forget who they were. They become the wife, and or the girlfriend, or whatever
Yeah.
label you have, and they forget who they were. Um, we put ourselves in the back burner. We start focusing on our partner, on the relationship, how we can show up in it to make the relationship. But then we forget that intimate, personal dreams we had for a life, that the things that we wanted to accomplish in our life, you know.
Mm,
And
yeah.
so for some reason, I see this a lot more with women than men. Um,
Mm, yeah.
so
I
I
believe,
I mentioned that too.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of lose ourselves, and sometimes it's what, coming back to what you said before, we just want it so much, and we're like, oh, if this is the one, I've got to make this work. And it's like, yeah, but you've got to keep your true to yourself as well.
Yes.
Otherwise, there will be frustrations, won't there, that come out. And
Right.
of course we get frustrated, and then we won't be in such a good mood, and we'll
Right.
submit our life and think, what have we done? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, bitterness, resentment,
Yes.
those are some of the qualities that may come up if you begin to compromise yourself to the point where you don't recognize who you are anymore.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's really important to stay true to yourself. Also, it's yes, staying true to yourself is good. And also to keep in mind that we are growing and evolving human beings, right? So that's okay.
Mm.
Absolutely. It's not
Yeah.
like we want to stay who we
No.
were. No,
Yeah.
you
But
are
that's
true to your own evolution. You're not going to allow
exactly.
someone else to
Yeah.
say, no,
Yeah.
I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want you to,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
And some people could be perfectly matched, even
Right.
10 years
Absolutely.
or any amount of time, 20 years. But then
Exactly.
as you evolve, maybe you do evolve in different directions. And I
So
suppose,
I talk about this.
yeah,
Exactly. It's not that I'm not encouraging people to break up. Let's make that clear too.
okay.
I say way in the beginning of the book that, it's not that you can't have a long-term relationship. You can. The important thing to see there is that you are growing and evolving in that relationship on a parallel. Their growth may look different than yours, and that's okay. The pace may even be different. You
Mm.
just have to come to an understanding with each other. We
Yeah.
work together, you
Yes.
know, and it's absolutely okay that you may have a many years of relationship with one person or a few people, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you are being who you are to your core, the true person that you are in a relationship. You're not making yourself small, you're not dimming your lights, you're not becoming someone else you don't recognize, you
Mm.
know. It's so important for us to end a relationship in a loving, compassionate, decent uh, way by having an open, honest conversation with each other because we want to value the relationship that we did have. I unfortunately see a lot of relationships where one party leaves the relationship without a word. They either disappear or abandon or just begin to avoid and ignore the partner. And you don't know where you stand.
Mm.
You just assume and speculate that the end of the relationship has come because there's no more communication.
Mm.
Um, so important. It's respectful and honoring the relationship that you did have to end it in a loving, compassionate way, to have that
Mm.
ideally a sit down face-to-face conversation and say, listen, let's be honest with each other. This isn't working because of XYZ,
Yeah.
or however, as long as you keep it kind and compassionate, where it's not escalated argument, you simply share with each other how you feel and be honest and just have to accept that, um, and that will then you'll leave the relationship feeling like you really left in a high note,
Mm.
and you respected each other, you valued each other. It becomes a good experience, even though you ended the relationship. Your memory of it won't be foul, it'll be a positive experience. You'll be like,
Yeah.
this was good. This was a good
It's a
way.
sense of closure, isn't it?
Exactly. The book, and that's why, I had created the support group that I did so that they do have somewhere to come to kind of express themselves and there's no judgment. It's an open space where you are allowed to express yourself freely. Um, happens is because when you share it with your family or your friends, they just want you to be okay. They want you
Yeah.
to be fine, and they want you to be happy. And that's very beautiful. It's supportive and loving, but it doesn't necessarily help you express yourself and get to a place of clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, sometimes people don't want to really say what's going on. They're embarrassed or
Mm-hmm.
know, they don't want to tell close family because they all know the partner maybe for decades.
Right.
It's like, how can you really
Exactly.
open up about this person?
So I hope this book provides them a source
Yeah,
of, oh, okay, this this I'm not alone.
yes,
Other people go
that's
through this,
nice.
and yeah.
So Nora is based in LA for the
Yes,
listeners that don't know, and you're still running the support group
I
in
do.
Los Angeles, is it? Oh, that's
Yes,
wonderful.
I do. I run it via Zoom. I
Oh,
used to
oh,
have it in person before COVID. Since COVID, I've been holding them
oh,
on virtually. Then they show up when they show up to the meeting, I introduce myself and my work and why I started this, just so that they get an idea of who I am. And then I ask each person to share, if they are willing to share, their, circumstance. Where are they at? Are they already in the divorce or breakup or separation, or are they going through it, or are they contemplating it? Where do they stand? Um, and then just share about what they would like to address, what issues they'd like to talk about. And, you know, um, I've also created specific separate groups. I also offer it where everybody is just going through a breakup. So those separate groups, and then
oh.
everyone who's just going through a separation, and everyone who's going just through a
Everybody's at the
divorce.
same stage
Yeah,
and
at
really
least, yes.
bounce
So I'm
ideas.
offering it where it's open to everyone, and then also separate groups.
Okay.
Yeah. So whoever feels comfortable with whichever group, they can join
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a wonderful support because I suppose then, well, now they'll have the book as well, but they've got the benefit of you giving feedback and support, but also the other people who are also in the same position giving
Right.
them support
Exactly.
ideas.
Exactly. Yeah. And they hear each other's stories, and a lot of times they relate. It's
Yes,
interesting
they
how
don't
we
feel
manifest
alone.
each other in the group. They usually end up noticing that they're going through similar circumstances
Wow.
at that time.
So, I know about two children's books that you have
Yes.
written. Would you like to share a little bit about them?
Yes. So I love to write, and I've done different types of writing. So I had written books, children's books, a couple of short stories, and it's basically about a little girl who is going to be going to school for the first time. So her first day of school. And the other one is a book about the same little girl who's going to be introduced to the concept of the our life, end of life. And I have an introduction where she has an aunt, a relationship with one of her aunts. And she has a conversation with her about nature. And she introduces to her the idea, the end of an end of life through the concept of nature.
Yes.
So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
And dedicating it to my nieces. I have two nieces. So I'm excited for that. For those two works to come out as well. Future. Yeah,
Fantastic.
near future.
Yes. And there's another book maybe with quotes and other things. Is that
Yes,
a
I've
big
written
project?
over the years, I've written inspiring either, verses or poem types writings, inspirational type writings. So I've put them in a collection. That's self-expression. Uh, so hopefully, I'll have that also published.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've had a sneak peek. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm really excited
Thank
about
you.
that and the
Thank
children's
you.
books. I think they're all going to be fantastic. So
Thanks.
you really are a wonderful success as far as authors go. You're
Oh,
just
thank
about
you.
to launch your first book and you've got the other books already in the pipeline. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share about my work.